Whiskers is my best friend. He's a fluffy ginger cat with a heart of gold. He loves to cuddle, chase laser pointers, and nap in sunbeams. We've been through thick and thin together, so when I felt a lump on his belly, my heart sank. A trip to the vet confirmed my fears. Whiskers needed surgery. The vet explained everything carefully. He drew diagrams and answered all my questions. He reassured me that Whiskers' surgery was common and the risks were low. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease. The thought of Whiskers going under the knife filled me with dread. He was such a small, vulnerable creature. I couldn't bear the thought of him being in pain or scared. The days leading up to the surgery were filled with anxiety. I spoiled Whiskers with extra treats and cuddles. I wanted him to know how much I loved him. I also wanted to make the most of our time together, just in case. The vet gave me specific instructions to prepare Whiskers for surgery. He had to fast overnight to ensure his stomach was empty. This was probably the hardest part. Whiskers loved his food, and he let me know he wasn't happy about missing dinner. The house felt strangely quiet without the usual clatter of Whiskers eating his kibble. I kept checking on him, making sure he was okay. The anticipation was agonizing. Finally, the day of the surgery arrived. I felt a knot of anxiety in my stomach. I loaded Whiskers into his carrier and we set off for the vet's office. The vet's office was bustling with activity. The waiting room was filled with a cacophony of sounds and a whirlwind of emotions. Pet owners sat anxiously, some whispering comforting words to their furry companions, while others filled out forms with trembling hands. The air was thick with anticipation and worry, a shared experience among strangers united by their love for their pets. Dogs barked, cats meowed, and the air smelled faintly of disinfectant. The sounds of the animals created a symphony of anxiety and hope. Each bark and meow seemed to echo the collective concern of the room. The scent of disinfectant was a constant reminder of the clinical environment, a place where lives could be saved or changed forever. I checked Whiskers in, my heart pounding in my chest. The receptionist's calm demeanor was a stark contrast to my inner turmoil. I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me, every second stretching into an eternity. Whiskers, oblivious to the gravity of the situation, peered out from his carrier with curious eyes. The receptionist assured me that everything would be fine. Her words were meant to comfort, but they did little to ease my anxiety. I nodded, trying to muster a smile, but my mind was racing with worst-case scenarios. The receptionist's practiced kindness was a small beacon of hope in the sea of uncertainty. I handed Whiskers over to a vet technician. The technician's gentle touch and reassuring smile provided a brief moment of solace. Whiskers, sensing the change, looked back at me with wide eyes. I wanted to hold on to him a little longer, to protect him from whatever lay ahead, but I knew I had to let go. He gave me a sad look, as if he knew what was coming. His eyes, usually so full of mischief and curiosity, were now filled with a quiet resignation. It was as if he understood the gravity of the situation better than I did. That look pierced my heart, making the moment even more poignant. I fought back tears and told him I loved him. My voice cracked and I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes. Saying goodbye, even temporarily, was one of the hardest things I had ever done. I wanted him to know that he was loved, that I would be waiting for him on the other side of this ordeal. I watched as they carried him away, his carrier disappearing behind a door. The door closed with a soft click, and I felt a pang of emptiness. The sight of the carrier vanishing from view was a stark reminder of the helplessness I felt. All I could do now was wait and hope for the best. The waiting was the hardest part. Each minute stretched into an eternity, the uncertainty gnawing at my nerves. The room seemed to close in around me, the walls pressing in with the weight of my anxiety. I tried to distract myself, but my thoughts kept drifting back to Whiskers and the unknown fate that awaited him. Every minute felt like an hour. The ticking of the clock was a cruel reminder of the passage of time, each second dragging on interminably. I watched the hands move, willing them to speed up, but they remained stubbornly slow. The waiting room, once bustling with activity, now felt like a prison of time. I paced the waiting room, checking my phone constantly, hoping for an update. Finally, the phone rang. The sound was jarring, breaking the oppressive silence that had settled over the room. My heart leaped into my throat as I answered, my hands trembling. The voice on the other end was calm and professional, but I could barely hear it over the pounding of my heart. The surgery was over and Whiskers was doing well. Relief washed over me, followed by a wave of exhaustion. The tension that had been building up inside me finally released, leaving me feeling drained but incredibly grateful. The vet's words were a lifeline, pulling me back from the edge of despair. Relief washed over me, followed by a wave of exhaustion. I could feel the weight lifting off my shoulders, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude. The ordeal was over, and Whiskers was safe. The emotional roller coaster had taken its toll, but the outcome made it all worthwhile. I rushed to the back, eager to see my furry friend. The anticipation was almost unbearable as I made my way through the clinic. When I finally saw Whiskers, a wave of emotion crashed over me. He looked tired but alert, and the sight of him filled my heart with joy. I knew that our bond had only grown stronger through this experience. Whiskers was still groggy from the anesthesia when I saw him. He was lying on a soft blanket, hooked up to an IV. The vet explained that the surgery had gone well and that Whiskers was recovering as expected. I was so relieved to see him safe and sound. I was also amazed by his resilience. He had been through so much that day, yet he still purred weakly when I petted him. The vet gave me detailed instructions for Whiskers' post-operative care. He needed medication, regular checkups, and plenty of rest. I was determined to follow the vet's orders to the letter. Section 6. The Cone of Shame and Other Challenges. Bringing Whiskers home was only the first step in his recovery journey. The real challenge was keeping him calm and preventing him from licking or scratching his incision site. As soon as we walked through the door, I could see the confusion in his eyes. He was in a familiar place, but everything felt different. The cone around his neck was a constant reminder that he couldn't move as freely as he used to. It was heartbreaking to see him struggle, but I knew it was necessary for his healing. The real challenge was keeping him calm and preventing him from licking or scratching his incision site. Every time he tried to reach his wound, I had to gently stop him. It was a constant battle of wills, and I could see the frustration building in his eyes. Enter the dreaded cone of shame. This large plastic contraption was designed to keep him from harming himself, but it felt like a prison to him. He would sit on the floor looking utterly defeated, and my heart would break a little more each time. The cone was essential to protect his wound, but Whiskers hated it. He would try to paw it off, twist his head in awkward angles, and even attempt to use the furniture to dislodge it. His sad eyes would look up at me, pleading for some relief, but I had to stay strong for his sake. He bumped into everything, struggled to eat, and looked utterly miserable. Watching him navigate the house was like watching a tiny, furry bumper car. Every corner, every piece of furniture became an obstacle. Mealtimes were especially challenging. He would try to eat, but the cone would get in the way, making it a frustrating experience for both of us. I felt terrible for him, but I knew it was for his own good. I spent extra time petting him, comforting him, and making sure he knew he was loved. Giving him his medicine became a ritual of gentle coaxing and lots of treats. It was a tough time for both of us, but we were in it together. Besides the cone, Whiskers had to wear a special surgical suit to prevent him from accessing his incision. This suit was like a tiny, snug bodysuit that covered his entire torso. It was designed to be comfortable, but Whiskers was not a fan. He would wriggle and squirm, trying to find a way out of it. He looked like a tiny, furry escape artist, constantly plotting to break free. Every time I turned my back, he would be trying to climb out of the suit or hide in a corner, hoping I wouldn't notice. It was both amusing and exasperating. Despite all the challenges, I knew that each day brought us closer to his full recovery. The cone of shame and the surgical suit were temporary hurdles, and soon, Whiskers would be back to his playful, mischievous self. Section 7. A slow but steady road to recovery. The days after surgery were a blur of medication schedules, gentle cleaning of the incision site, and endless cuddles. Whiskers was still lethargic and sore, but his appetite slowly returned, and he started showing glimpses of his old playful self. Every day brought small victories, a purr, a head boop, a playful swat at a toy. It was incredible to witness his strength and determination to heal. The vet visits continued, and with each checkup I could see the progress. The incision was healing beautifully, and Whiskers was regaining his energy. Section 8. Tips for your cat's surgical journey. Going through Whiskers' surgery was a stressful experience, but it taught me a lot about caring for a cat in recovery. Here are a few tips for anyone facing a similar situation. First, follow your vet's instructions carefully. This includes medication schedules, dietary restrictions, and activity limitations. Second, create a safe and comfortable recovery space for your cat, away from other pets and loud noises. Third, be patient and understanding. Your cat will need time to heal, and their behavior might change temporarily. Lastly, don't hesitate to contact your vet if you have any concerns about your cat's recovery. Section 9. The importance of patience and love. Whisker's recovery taught me the importance of patience and unconditional love. It wasn't just about waiting for him to get better, it was about being there for him every step of the way, providing comfort and care even when it seemed like progress was slow. It was tough seeing him uncomfortable and restricted, but I knew that every snuggle, every gentle word, and every careful medication administration was helping him heal. Each moment spent together, whether it was a quiet cuddle or a playful interaction, was a reminder of the bond we shared and the strength of our connection. The bond between a pet and their human is truly special. It's a relationship that goes beyond simple companionship. It's a deep, mutual understanding and trust that grows stronger with time and shared experiences. It's a connection built on trust, companionship, and unwavering love, even in the face of challenges. Whether it's a playful moment with a favorite toy or a quiet evening spent together on the couch, these interactions are the building blocks of a relationship that can weather any storm. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Every pet owner faces moments of doubt and worry, but it's important to stay strong and keep faith in the process. Your love and patience are the greatest gifts you can offer your furry friend. Many pet owners go through the worry and uncertainty of pet surgery. It's a common experience, filled with anxiety and hope, but knowing that others have walked this path can provide a sense of comfort and solidarity. Don't be afraid to reach out to your support network or online communities for advice, encouragement, and shared experiences. There are countless resources available, from online forums to local pet groups, where you can find support and share your journey with others who understand what you're going through. Documenting your experiences can also be a therapeutic way to process your emotions and track your pet's progress. Whether it's through writing, photography, or simply sharing stories with friends, these moments of reflection can help you appreciate the journey and the growth that comes with it. Ultimately, the journey of caring for a pet, especially through challenging times, is a testament to the power of patience and love. It's a journey that teaches us about resilience, compassion, and the unbreakable bond we share with our animal companions. So, cherish every moment, big or small, and remember that your love and patience are making a world of difference in your pet's life. Together, you can overcome any obstacle and create a lifetime of beautiful memories.